Hey guys, it's Brickman117. Welcome back to the channel and part 6 of my latest ultimate build, the Halo Infinite inspired Banished anti-aircraft gun. If you haven't been following the build so far, you can catch yourself up by visiting my channel. There is a dedicated playlist purely for this build. But for those of you that have followed me so far, let's get into part 6. Now in part 5 I said that part 6 was hopefully going to be the completed gun on the top of the main body. I lied. I have not been able to complete that gun for you. It's been a lot more challenging, a lot more time consuming and a lot bigger than I had anticipated up until this point. However, I have made good progress and I feel like I've got enough content to show you guys that I think you're going to be very pleased with. So with that said, let's jump into a speed build and see how I've got on. Okay guys, that covers it for the time lapse for this part of the build, although I did continue to build after I stopped filming, so there will be more that you have not seen yet added to this section of the build, so make sure you hang around for that. Before we get on to that, let's take a look at what you have seen me build so far. So what this is the main barrel of the gun, and if we take the Defense Point Showdown set, I've basically focused on this area here, which obviously on this set it looks completely different, but what I've tried to do is copy what we saw in the game trailer from 2020. All of this section around here will be the next part of the build. So as you can see, I've used these translucent red box here to allow me to put LED lighting in, which you can see here. Obviously none of this is finalized yet. I've only got an LED strip down here. I need to put one on the other side yet, so you'll get the light dispersing from both sides. I did a little test as I was building it. Really pleased with the result. Obviously it's not Lego lighting, it's just some really cheap eBay LED strip lighting. But I didn't see the point in going to the cost of Lego lighting when this stuff is so cheap. So we can just flick that on and you can see it does light up those bricks. Even under the studio lighting, it lights up relatively well. So you may have seen me also building this section here. Now the only reason I did this is I just didn't want a flat top to this part of the gun. Even though it's on the very top of the build, I just can't stand plain boring flat surfaces, so I decided to make this because it's got some detail on it, and it also allows me just to slide that in underneath there, and then you just got it makes it a little bit more interesting to the gun, especially when you look at it from this angle. It gives the gun a lot of texture, and then when you look down there, I can't quite get the angle there, I'm running out of room on this desk. But yeah, I'm really pleased with what this gun looks like from above so far. Obviously this section here isn't finished yet, and if I need to I'll continue this into the main body of the gun. But once you flick this on, I've also put some of these red bricks in here as well. Obviously that side there will light up once I've got the lights on the other side, but I'm really pleased with how this is looking so far. I will turn the studio lights down a bit later on so you can see what it looks like in the not so bright light. Now onto the bit that I didn't show you that I built. We just push that to the side. So it was this section here, which I'm particularly pleased with. I wanted to do something for the underside of the gun, and I wanted to try and get an angle that matched the angle that you see in that game trailer from last year. So I came up with this. It was a good way to use all of these black parts. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add this to the underside of the gun so you can see what it looks like once it's installed. So basically the way this goes in is there's a little hinge bracket here and one on the front of the gun, so you can just pop this into there like so, and then it sits up on here, which gives you that angle there, which I'm pleased with. It rises as it comes towards the back of the gun, so it gives you a really nice angle. You can see how much higher it is here compared to the front. We're a bit close up at the moment, so I'll back the camera out in a second so you can see it from a little bit further away. To lock it all into place is the next part of the build, which is going to be the front section of the main body of the gun, which just goes on here like this. That's going to go on there. Obviously it'll have more securing it, but as you can see it's starting to take shape. Around here you'll have silver and red, and then it will go into the main body of the gun. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. So I'm just going to back the camera out a little bit, see if I can get you a better angle on that. Just before I offer this up to the actual main body of the gun, I just wanted to show you some of the detail. I definitely got carried away in here because it's underneath, so you don't see a huge amount of this, but maybe you will. This is going to be a big MOC. If I'm taking shots or videos when it's finished from ground level, troop level, you probably will look up underneath the bottom of this gun. You'll in fact probably see this area more than you'll see the top of the gun. So I guess it might be worthwhile, but either way, quite enjoyed building this part of the gun. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this. So let me see if I can hold it up in the position it's going to be in once it's attached to the main body of the gun. So it's not easy to offer this thing off, but I'll do my best. It's a little bit awkward. It's heavy when you've got it at arm's length, but it's going to look something like that. Something around there, I would imagine, which Size wise I'm pretty pleased with. Obviously the back end of the gun's got to be developed yet and then make it strong enough to support itself, but I'm pretty pleased with what I've got so far. If I can, I'm going to make it be able to rotate obviously, but we'll have to see how I get on with that. So yeah, really pleased. Let's just dim the studio lights down and we'll see what it looks like with those internal lights on. Okay, so there we go. Let's see what it looks like with the lights. Epic. Really pleased with that. Cannot wait to get the rest of this gun developed. You can see the light coming through the top there as well. I'm going to do a few other little bits like that just to give it that lighting feature all the way around, and I'll also put lights in the power cells on the top of each of the legs as well, and I'll probably light the main control room as well from the ceiling at the underneath of this gun around here, so when you look in through these gaps here it will all be illuminated with white light. So yeah, couldn't be more happy with that. And I'm afraid that's your lot for part 6, guys, so I'll get back to building. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button, tap the notification bell for future updates, and as always, I'll see you next time.